Hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to the latest episode of our TTM Through the Mail Returns. As our friend Isaac, baseball fan 75, says, we have 5 in the box. So let's get right to it. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and is getting back on their their diets. All right, let's get to it. Our first one is a 2 of 2, 21 days. This was $10 per. He hails from San Antonio, Texas. He played 16 years in the big leagues for the Colt 45s. Yep. Currently known as the Astros. The Royals, Dodgers, and the Mets. For his career, he hit 39 home runs, 404 ribbies, 352 runs scored, 1,092 hits, and a 252 average. He's a 2-time All-Star, World Series champion, and a member of the Mets Hall of Fame. He's none other than, you guessed it, Mr. Jerry Grote. There he is on the 76 tops and the 73 tops. Awesome sig. I got this one from Michael Myers on a care package he sent, so glad to get that bad boy inked up. The 73 looks great. Ding there. All right, with Mr. Grote, I mean, the offensive stats don't jump out, but defensively, he is one of the best, if not the best, in baseball at that time. Grote's defensive mastery prompted St. Louis' second stolen base legend Lou Brock to remark that Grote, quote, was the toughest catcher in the league to steal on, end quote. Brock said that when Grote was behind the plate, he tried to take bigger leads off first base and take advantage of the pitcher to give himself an edge on the bases. To further this point, this praise was heaped on him repeatedly, but probably the most often cited quote about Grote's defense came from none other than Johnny Bench himself, a contemporary of Grote's. Bench said, and I quote, "If Jerry Grote were a Cincinnati Red, I would have been a third baseman," end quote. That is some pretty lofty praise from Hall of Fame catcher. If you think about how the Mets won in the late 1960s and early 1970s, the formula was clear. They relied on pitching, pitching, and more pitching. The man entrusted to lead that young pitching staff was Jerry Grote. Grote helped nurture some big-name young pitchers such as Tom Seaver, Jerry Koosman, Gary Gentry, Jim McAndrew, Tug McCraw, and a young Nolan Ryan, to name just a few. On April 22nd, 1970, he set a major league record with 20 putouts in a game. Seaver notched 19 strikeouts against San Diego that day and set his own major league mark with 10 consecutive strikeouts. Grote commented that he didn't even bother to call pitches after the 8th inning that day and just held out his glove to catch Seaver's unhittable fastball. Those 10 consecutive strikeouts are a record to this day. Grote's 20 putouts have since been matched by Rich Gedman and Dan Wilson in the AL, Sandy Martinez and Wilson Ramos in the NL. I actually got to meet Mr. Grote along with my uncle. It was a great pleasure meeting him. Great, great guy. And I appreciate you taking the time to sign these, Mr. Grote. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. All right. This is going to be a Mets theme for the most part here. All right, our next one. Our next former Met. This was a 3 of 3, 68 days, and it was free. And this player had a great college career at Arkansas where he led them to a College World Series berth and almost winning it all. He finished his college years with a batting average of .337, 33 homers, and 121 RBIs. Not to mention a career slugging percentage of .642, third best in school history. He played for the Padres, Mets, Royals, and ending his career as a Met in 1994. Excuse me. He batted .265 with 211 home runs and 807 ribbies for his career. He was traded to the Mets before the 1987 season in a multi-player trade that saw Kevin Mitchell, the 1984 number 1 draft pick Sean Abner, and Stan Jefferson go to the Padres. Regarding the 1984 draft, the Mets reportedly preferred Big Mac, Mark McGwire, but they couldn't agree on a deal. Just imagining Big Mac as a Met. Wow, it could have been. In McReynolds' first season with the Mets, he belted 29 homers and had 95 RBI while batting .276. Unfortunately, the Mets weren't able to replicate 1986, even with those numbers, losing out to the Cardinals once again. And here he is. This one got smudged, unfortunately, but it's a 19... I'm not sure, is this 1990 classic? I'll have to look. I'm not sure years, but that's a good-looking card. Too bad it got smudged there. put that there. There he is on the 1990 upper deck. Looks great. Great looking card. And there he is on the 89 Flair for the set. Oops, shoebox baseball there. That one came out pretty nice. Very awesome. And Mr. McReynolds was actually involved in an unusual and historical incident early in the 1987 season when the Braves' Deion James fly ball hit and killed a dove minding his own business in the air above left field. Baseball and bird both fell in front of a startled McReynolds. He fielded the ball, but James still ended up with a double. It was the first and still the only time in MLB history that a bird has been killed by baseball during an official game, although it has happened more than once. I believe the Randy Johnson incident was a spring training game, and the Dave Winfield incident was an exhibition game, if I recall. So he's a part of an odd occurrence there in MLB history. So, Mr. McReynolds, thank you very much. It is much appreciated. All right. And interestingly enough, Kevin McReynolds, when he was traded from the Padres to the Mets, if you are wondering who executed the trade as GM of the Padres and who the manager was at that time, look no further. I have them back as well. And according to the Padres manager at the time, he had this to say regarding the McReynolds trade. And I quote, baseball people know this is a great trade for the Padres, but the baseball fans will say, who's Jefferson? Who's Abner? I'm telling you, this is a great trade. I'd love to have McReynolds, and we'll be short on home runs, but we have ingredients we didn't have, defense and speed, end quote. The GM at the time, Padres GM, was quoted as saying, I wouldn't have made all those deals in the past if I wasn't a gambler. He is renowned as one of the freest traders in baseball, even earning a nickname reflecting that. Unfortunately for the Padres, they finished 1987 last in the NL East with a 65-97 record, while the Mets finished second in the NL East with a 92-70 record and a second-place finish. The GM and manager, as you may have guessed, are, this one's a 3 of 3, 8 days free at that time. There he is. Larry Boa is who I quoted earlier, and there he is on the Padres card. There he is on the 84 Flair. And there he is on the 81 Topps as a member of the Phillies before he was traded to the Cubs along with Sandberg. And if you're wondering who the GM was, this is a 3 of 1. He actually signed both index cards. Trader Jack McKeon. Very cool. Put that there. And there he is on the 75 Topps as manager of the Royals. I got this in that flea market purchase with those Bretts, actually. That's where I got that one, so glad to have that back signed. And interestingly enough, Larry Bowa actually ended his career as a member of the Mets, I believe, in 1985, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Thank you both, Mr. Bowa and Mr. McKeon. Much appreciated for that. And our final return, as you probably guessed, another Met. This is a 4 of 4, $2 each, 24 days from Santa Ana, California. And this player was a member of the 1986 World Series team. He played 13 years in the bigs for 6 different teams. He played most of his career with the Mets. He also played for the Rangers, Yankees, Dodgers, Pirates, and the Phillies. 228 career hitter. He hit 88 home runs to go with 376 ribbies. His best statistical season was in 1996 as a member of the Rangers, where he batted .252 with 24 homers, 99 RBI, and 79 runs scored. He was actually named the Sporting News Comeback Player of the Year that season. He is Kevin Elster. He is on the 91 Flair Ultra. 88 Topps Future Stars. Very cool. He always signs on the side there. 87 Flair. Rated rookie 87 Donruss. So very, very cool there. Awesome return. Again, a special thank you to all these players. I really appreciate you taking the time to sign. And I appreciate everyone out there watching, subscribing, commenting, and liking the videos. Continue to do that, and please hit that bell if you haven't. Look forward to putting out more material as we go along. Been slacking lately. But again, thank you so much, and I hope everyone does well, is doing well, and have a great evening, and be well. Take care.
37, 66, 66. Your memories of some of the wackier plays in the history of the New York Mets. Joe in Brooklyn, you're on Mets Extra.
Hi. Yeah, the one I remember